Hey y'all, Mythicer here. Thank you all my A1 Day 1 subscribers. For anybody new or just passing through, welcome. Feel free to head on into the timestamps and hop, skip, and jump your way to all the good stuff coming up in this whipping chat. For those of you who are able to take your time, um, this and this are from JNL's Crafty Creations. This, oh my gosh, smells so good. You'll be tempted to eat it. Please do not. But it is so good. I am using this in my multi-placers. And then, yeah, Diamond Art Club Twist and Pick pen with 2 forever tips on it. Enabler's Outpost pen. If you want to see the unboxing for this one, I'll link you over to the small shop haul that I did for my birthday up in the iCards. Random Diamond Art Club pen that I got with one of my previous toolkits. Just pulled it out because it's orange and because if we're going to be using these and these, then I will need some pink wax. The multicolored bag is from Diamond Jewels USA. Big bag with the AB jellies is from Tima, aka DP with Sparklers. And then this is from Yellow Dog Designs. Proudly Canadian. proudly paid the import for them, but absolutely love it. I think this is actually one of my first like two-tone trays besides my other one, my other event tray from it's the Inferno. It's from Firefly. Sorry y'all. Like, finally got the vials for my allergy treatment and just had a shot earlier today, so my brain is just like pfft. But allergy shots didn't take me out. I was just diamond painting. I was just chilling, and I'm just like, oh, like let's make a video. Because y'all haven't heard from me in like 2 weeks. I promise I'm still alive, just extremely busy. The last whipping chat, I went on a rant about how Alex is like cosmically unlucky when it comes to shipping. Like he could get like basic necessities. He could order underwear, jeans, high-vis work shirts and all that till the cows came home, and it would all come on time exactly when he needs it. But when he saves up for a hot minute to get a gently used VR headset, it gets delayed about a week due to weather, and it was a whole thing. And then also, because we got a better VR headset, we sent our poopy one, well, poopy to him, but still has a pretty good amount of life in it, over to a friend in Florida, so then the boys could have their boy time while I would go off and have my time and actually be able to diamond paint. So that was that. So yeah, if you just like want to skip on over to the next subject, totally fine, no hard feelings. But yeah, those allergy shots. So last we left off, my computer for work just like conked out, and I had to wait and get a new one. So then I decided, oh, like, I'm just gonna go get an allergy shot right now because otherwise, like, I'd have to wait a few more days until the weekend before I could go get one. So I got it, and then they're just like, congratulations, it's the last one in the vial. You'll need to order new vials. So that's what I did as soon as I got home. And the day after I had placed my order was when, or it was like a day or two after, something like that. But pretty much right after I placed my order for my new vials, the shot lab had a incident with their water heater. So obviously, you know, like, water damage, restoration, mold abatement, whatever they had to do, I knew it was going to take a hot minute. And I pretty much knew, like, okay, like, we're going to have some repeated doses, but it's fine. Like, we'll get back on track. It is what it is. And occasionally I keep checking up on things. I get my doctor to send in for this year's EpiPen. I'm getting, like, my specialty meds refilled, all these things. And then, like, as I'm asking about, as things come up, I'm just asking, like, so, any update on my vials? Like, nobody's sharing anything with me. So I'm just like, okay. I wonder what's up on Facebook, because sometimes, they might just share things on social media, but they may not have, like, a social media person to constantly keep all of that updated. So I went onto Facebook, and I saw, like, just randomly one morning before I was about to start work, like, oh, they had a fire in the building. Wonderful. So, it's like, great. Now I gotta wait for fire damage and or possibly water damage to be rehabilitated in that building before they can even mix up my vials and for me to get a shot. I, like, literally went from April the 3rd all the way up until last week, which was like July 11, something like that, July 12, to get my first allergy shot. Like, absolutely bonkers, but it is what it is. And, like, I even had my yearly follow-up appointment with my allergy doctor too before I was even able to have my shots. And I think the reason why I was able to finally get my shots is because, like, I mentioned that during my follow-up appointment with the doctor, and then her and the nurse practitioner were able to get on the shot lab, like, ASAP. So yeah, like, I lost all of my progress. I had to start completely over from the beginning. And, I mean, I was only one vial into treatment anyway, so it was, like, no big deal. But, yeah, lost all my progress, had to start over, and I tell you, the shot last week, that stung so bad. If you ever want to know what it is like to just straight up inject dry ice into your veins, or just straight up inject icy hot into your veins, go do allergy shots for a while, like, not do them for 2 months, and then resume. because that is exactly what it felt like. It felt like super duper cold, but also burning hot at the same time. And the ice, like they have like these little ice pack things that they put on your arm that barely took the edge off. It hurt so bad. But you know, like they poked and they felt up my arms and everything. After my waiting period was up to monitor for allergic reactions, and they're just like, yeah, it's not swollen. And I'm just like, yeah, but I can feel it. And they're just like, it's normal, but you know, just watch your arms, make sure you don't swell to something the size of a 50-cent piece. Otherwise, it may be a hospital visit, you know, depending, but other than that, you should be fine. And then I was fine. Like, I was just extremely tired last week, and then I was just like, that was it. But this week, though, like, yeah, I do feel, like, kind of, not with it, but I'm not, like, completely KO'd either. So yeah, like that was that with allergy shots. I'm glad to, you know, get everything right back on track again with them. And now I like completely understand why they say, you know, like be prepared for this to be 5 years, sometimes more of a commitment, because it's like it's not the person. Like, it's just life, whatever, can just get in the way. And then, so long as you're, you know, not having any cosmically unlucky things happen to you, yeah, absolutely, it can take you 5 years, but then you should be done. But for those who will wind up drawing the short straw, it could take you longer. I do not have that color in my Elizabeth Ward. I need to reach my other one. So yeah, we finally got back on track with allergy shots at the tail end of Jaloon. Oh my god, Jaloon, what is that? Like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have filmed. Maybe I should have waited, but, I don't know. Makes me human, I guess. So, yeah, there was allergy shots end of June, beginning of July. Oh, yeah. I never really talked about this, but, I hope that Mother's Day, Father's Day, and 4th of July went okay for you, because, like, how those 3 went for me was a little bit different than what I had expected. Some of it good, some of it bad. So, we'll start off with Mother's Day first, because, that's what happened first. We'll just go in chronological order. Yeah, there was one night where I was just like sitting on the phones bored. Absolutely nobody calling in. Like, calls were 15 minutes apart from each other. And I was like, okay, this is unusual, but I'm only 45 minutes away from the end of my shift. I am not about to ask for early release. Like, I'm just gonna try to make the most of my time. So, and I knew, like, because I saw it earlier in my email that Stanley said, oh, and it was, and this is like me at the end of April. I was seeing like, oh, customization for Stanley mugs was going to be free. You need to get your order in by this date if you want to make the cutoff for Mother's Day and have your mug delivered before May 11. So I was like, okay, that would be cool. My mom is one who always wants like the trendy items, and like how cool would it be to have a customized Stanley mug? So I flip my sketchbook open to a blank sheet, and I'm just like, well, I have Copic markers, so like let's see if maybe I could do like some hand lettering, because I remember I used to do that like when I was a kid and stuff, like make funky letters, things like that. I tried. I tried in between my phone calls. They didn't come out too good. And then I'm just like, well, I could do better than just her name, because anybody can do a name. But I'm just sitting there and I'm like, well, my mom works for the airline just like me. Like, why don't we do something aviation themed? So I start doodling airplanes. I start like doodling airplanes with the smoke trail, and then I'm just like, oh, well, how about we do the word mom, MOM, and then we replace the O with a heart, and instead of it being just a regular heart, how about we make that the smoke trail coming out of an airplane? So that is basically what I had done. And then I was just looking at this like, alright, so I'm just like looking at the customization pictures, and I'm just like, okay, so this is exactly what they're gonna do, because they probably have like a big Glowforge, which is like a laser engraver, and I'm sure like there's only a certain dimension that my graphic could be, and I don't know like how big is a 40-ounce quencher. So, but it's a Friday and everything, and I'm just like, okay, tomorrow when I need to go get gas, we'll make a Target run, and we'll just pick up a 40-ounce quencher, like just straight up buy one, get one in like the spring colors, get some straw covers for it, and a dampener to go on the bottom of the cup so then it doesn't like rattle when you're in the car. Like, awesome treat for yourself, but also at the same time research, because we are gonna get a tape measure and measure the side of the cup where it's like from here to here. So that's exactly what I did. And then I made my graphic and everything in Adobe Illustrator, and I went and, when you're doing mug customization, kind of what they don't tell you, it seems like it's pretty obvious, but if you're not a person who's done design work, you're probably not going to know this. So I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm just going to tell you, any text that you put, or any images that you put that shows up black on your computer screen would wind up being whatever color this is. I know that they give you a preview, and they're like it would wind up being that silver color or whatever color the metal is underneath. And I know that Stanley gives you a preview and stuff, but just in case anybody is a little confused about that, and you've also been kind of seeing these like mug customizations, whatever, that's what color your design would come out as if it shows up black on your computer screen. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. So I wanted to get a mug that would like go with the color of my mom's uniform, and of course that thing sold out like right away when the mug customization first opened up. It was a really popular color, so I'm just like, okay, like I'll just get her like this really pretty like cerulean blue type of mug and purchase that, loaded the design, everything. She when she had her mug shipped and ready to go, the delivery date was literally going to be the day after she left for a cruise. I was like, OMG, you mean if I would have just been like 72 hours quicker on the draw, like she could have taken that thing with her on a cruise and she could have shown it off and like all this good stuff. I could have had bragging rights. I could have, but nope. I had to do it 3 days too late. I mean, it still made it to her in plenty of time for Mother's Day. She still absolutely loved it, though, and I'm just like, well, I mean, it's a good thing I went with the mug this year, because had it been any other gift, it probably wouldn't have survived, because she believes in using her benefits with the airline. And honestly, after the last 5 years, I don't blame her. Not that what she does is completely horrible, but life is too short. So then I just, like, got to thinking, because for some of the travel and things that her and my dad like to do, if the flights are always, like, getting disrupted and whatever, and they have to be, like, in California for wherever their cruise is going to launch out of, things like that, they may just decide to drive it as opposed to flying it, because, you know, like, at that point, if it's only 8 hours away, if all they're doing is, like, Phoenix to Los Angeles, and the cost of, like, gassing up the car is cheaper than the cost of an airplane ticket, it makes sense, especially if flights are getting disrupted. So, he was planning on getting a cruise that launches from Long Beach right around Labor Day weekend and stuff. So then I was thinking, like, oh yeah, cool, we should totally do a mug customization for Dad for Father's Day. But, you know, we just got the one done for Mother's Day. We need to wait a hot minute on that. So for Alex's mom, what I noticed is she likes to treat herself by going to the nail salon like once every like 3 to 4 weeks, because you know, when you're older, you can't really bend over. It's kind of hard to take care of your feet. And then if you can't take care of your feet, like, not only do things kind of like not look right, but then you could have like issues because of dead skin, like yada yada yada. So she goes to the nail salon to manage that, because rather spend the money to have somebody take care of that as opposed to having painfully cracked heels and all the nonsense that goes along with that. So it's just something that she does. It's her me time. And that tends to add up, and she wishes that she had like a salon quality e-file so that, you know, Ron could just do the removal service for her at home, and then if she wanted like any fancy design work or like for the holidays, like stuff like that, nail art, she would just, you know, work that into her manicure pedicure cycle. Because sometimes, like, depending on where you go, it could easily be $20 to like $40 for a soak off. And I am just like, you know what? It'd just be easier for her if she just had her own e-file. Then even if her hands like were not gonna be steady or something, at least like somebody else in the family could like go operate the e-file and then just like take the old polish off. She doesn't use gel. She normally uses dip powder. And yeah, because like once you break that first like clear coat and then you get to the stuff underneath, then like you put your hands in the soak off solution and stuff, and then you're done. It just saves a lot of time filing. And I decided, why not get a Melody Susie, because it's what I see a lot of the time when I decide to splurge for myself and get my nails done. And that's what I see a lot of nail techs using. So I saw on Amazon, relatively close to Mother's Day, it was like about a week or so out, they had the Melody Susie that went up to 3,500 RPMs on sale for like $42, and I was like, oh yes, please. That's like the cost of one soak off, and to me, like, it's like, oh yeah, even if it gets used just like once, that like thing instantly pays for itself. And when I gave it to her, she was over the moon for Mother's Day. And I'm always like the gift person. Alex is the one who always picks the best cards. So then on Mother's Day, Alex's brother Chris comes over and he gives her precious moments, and then like these, like, it was some with an old couple, and then like somehow the conversation turns to crafts, and Andrea's like, I wish I knew what had happened with my cross stitch, because like I had a work in progress, and like now that my health is improving, I kind of want to get back into it, da da da. And I was just like, all right, you know how we had the wildfire thing happen back in March? I think I saw something. I'm gonna go get it. So I just drop what it was I was doing, and I go into Zesty's room, Zesty the cat. It used to be Ben's room, but Ben is in Japan doing military things, so his cat just like basically took over the room. Also, I see that I missed like a complete row of these. I don't know why I put them away. Anyways, so yeah, like I go into the cat's room and I pull out 3 boxes, take them with me to the living room, and DMC floss for like 100 through 600, and then I get like another couple of boxes where it has the DMC codes for like the low 3000s and the high 3000s. But, and I'm just like, hey, I think I found most of it, but I think you're missing 600 through 900. And she's like, yeah, I am. That other box would be with my current work in progress, because obviously, I would be keeping those two things together if I was using a color out of that box. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I go on to ask her, like, where was the last place you remember putting that box? Because like, we've hit the jackpot, clearly. Like, we found most of your DMC colors of floss. Like, we're just missing this little chunk. And she's like, oh yeah, I think it's like out in the shed. And then I was just like, okay. Did you put it in anything? And then she's like, yeah, I put it in a gym bag. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So it's not like we have a whole bunch of floss exposed to the elements. Like, at least it's in something. It should probably be protected, especially if it's in, like one of those she had them in like a scrapbooking case. So it's like, oh, well, if it's in plastic and then the plastic is in a duffel bag, I think that it should be fine. But yeah, like, inadvertently, I remembered seeing that the last time that I went to scoop out the cat's litter box. So I feel like I had just completely hit the floss jackpot. Also, I'm thinking of something. Ooh, yes. My plan for these bottles, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, is that I do AB jellies, like just outlining them. So then the bottles get a little more pizzazz. But the fun didn't stop at the floss, because we didn't really plan for anything on Mother's Day, and then we all just kind of like voted on dinner, and we voted that we do hot dogs, but also in our house, hot dogs, you have to watch them with the movie. So then I don't even know how or why who even broached the subject, but they started asking me, like, oh, have you seen Spaceballs? And I'm just like, Spaceballs? What is that? And then Alex's dad does, like, the perfect Tron rectifier impression. Like, just straight up, this must be rectified. And then he signs in to my Amazon Prime account on the TV in the living room, and he rents Spaceballs. And then we gather around in the living room in front of the TV. We all have our hot dogs and we all have like a bag of chips, and we're just constantly busting up laughing. Like, if you need a pick me up and if you do not mind parodies and you have not seen this, I mean, it's like kind of an older movie because it was like done in the 1980s, back when Star Wars first came out, like as in A New Hope. Like the OG. And like, it was great. It was great. I am not seeing this color. I don't know where it is. Oh well, I'll pick another color and then I'll go look for it later. So that wound up being Mother's Day. Father's Day, again, like, we didn't have a whole lot planned. We, what we did for that one, like, we just had hamburgers here at the house, and back in February, Alex and I had went to Brickfest, and I promise you this has a point how it ties into Father's Day, because at the end of Brickfest we wind up going to the, like, they have like a little gift area or like area where they have all the big beautiful Lego sets that you can purchase and obviously take home with you. There was the DeLorean there, which, like, yeah, okay, like certain Walmarts we can go get them. They had like Tranquil Garden, they had the Four Auspicious Plants, and oh, hang on, that is not an S, that is a triangle. What am I doing? So they had the DeLorean, they had the four like Chinese plants, they had and they just had like they had the Razor Crest, they had a whole bunch of like bestsellers of their kits. And we saw one kit there that was like out of print, that people would practically unalive other people for. They had the original Batmobile there, complete with bubble top and everything. And Alex is like, well, I kind of want the Venator, but if I get one now, it's gonna be like, yay, I bought something dopamine, but then it's just gonna take me further away from that goal. Like, the Venator is such a big undertaking. Probably better if I just don't even get anything. And then I'm just like, well, you know, I pretty much spent like a big chunk of my fun money for this month, you know, so that, because I know you're not like very big on doing anything for Valentine's Day. You're not like the romantic type of person, but I just, you know, like, I did this so that we could kind of have a date and like go out, have some fun together. So, like, I got what I wanted because, like, I bought tickets to the experience and it was a good experience. Um, the. So I got what I wanted already. Let's just be clear. I got what I wanted out of it. And Alex is just like, well, since I can't get anything, how about we just get an early Father's Day present? And I'm just like, honey, this conversation never happened. So we check out for the Batmobile, and, yeah. That we had to wait until his parents, went to bed, and you know, at least it was the middle of February. It was Valentine's Day weekend, so I that was the only reason why I was able to get away with this. So after his parents went to bed, we snuck out into the front yard where I typically park my car. We're on 5 acres. So, you know, out in the country, we don't really have a driveway or anything. I mean, we have an area where we typically park our cars. That's what I'm referring to. So we go out there. We get the Batmobile from my car. We sneak it in. Or rather, Alex got it and he snuck it in. I pretty much just told him, here are the keys. I'm going to bed. And he brought it in. He kept it in his closet. And then about a week before Father's Day, we get it out. We sneak it into my room. One day before work, I make a trip to Walmart. We get Father's Day paper, and then we wrap the Batmobile. When we gave it to Alex's dad, he was completely flabbergasted. Like, scraping the jaw off of the floor with a spatula, flabbergasted. And he kept on telling us about, like, how the cars back in the day were inspired by the fighter jets, and that's where they got the bubble tops from. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. So I Googled it, and sure enough. And every once in a while, here and there, like whenever there isn't anything going on, I'll just see him out in the dining room, like at a big table, just working away on the Batmobile. So, how everything went for my dad for Father's Day was relatively interesting because at that time of year, I wasn't getting any downtime in between calls. Like, it was just back-to-back busy. So, what I had to do was, unfortunately, I had to wait until it was a weekend day to design Dad's mug. And I got, like, so many designs. Like, there was Dad Airlines. There was, like, Dad written on an airplane. There, like, all kinds of things, right? Because I wanted his mug to match Mom's, because they both worked for the airline at one point in their lives. Like, Dad worked for a hot minute before he retired, and then after he retired from the airlines, then my mom went to go work for them. So, yeah. Like, I thought that it was fitting that the two of them would match. And I'm just like, what if I'm just, like, overly complicating it? What if I just put Dad and then, like, have an airplane for the hole punch? And that is exactly what I wound up picking for the mug design, and couldn't have been happier, because I was looking at it and, like, all the other designs looked okay-ish. Like, they could have passed off for a decent design. But I'm just like, you know what? I honestly think simpler was best. And he's the one who, like, I wasn't sure how it was going to go over, because he isn't all into, like, things that are gimmicky or trendy in any sort of way. But he actually loved it. So now we're at 4th of July, and I found out that I got it off. Alex found out he got it off, and then his parents, of course, have 4th of July off. So I was hoping, like, oh, they're doing the air show. Like I was asking them, like, oh, you have any good spots, like, where we could see this and things like that. And then they were telling us, and this is like a couple of weeks before 4th of July even happens. Out of nowhere, we get a call from an extended family member, or we get a call about an extended family member who had passed away. And I have no emotional connection to that person, but Alex's parents do. So they had to take a trip back east to go do the memorial service, take care of things there, etc. I stayed home and worked. Alex stayed home and worked because he didn't know that person either. And we were essentially pet sitting the whole entire time. It was a complete shift in the routine, but we got through it. But because that happened, like, the week before 4th of July, it just kind of put the whole entire house, like, in a dampened mood where we're just like, we're not doing anything this year. Like, not with half the house being, like in a down mood. We're just going to spend long weekends, sleeping, chilling, just vegging out. So that is precisely what we did. I had some frozen hamburger patties that I put out to thaw, because I got lucky one time at the grocery store and I found some Black Angus burgers that were actually a really good price. I think that they were marked down, and typically what I do with my markdowns is I freeze them right away, because for some of that, it's like, unless I know for a fact that I'm cooking it that day, and I have, like, already committed time to this and all that, I freeze it. So I thawed those, and I went out to the grill, and we have a propane grill. I sprayed cooking spray on the grate, and I light her up, and as soon as I light her up, it starts to rain. And this, like, happened last year too, when I was trying to grill salmon. And it's like, why is it that whenever it is 4th of July here, and I'm trying to grill, it always rains. But Alex saved the day. He took the umbrella that we have out on the patio and he put it over top of the grill. So he saved the burgers. So then we just had hamburgers and we had French fries, and it was good. It was a nice, quiet 4th of July. And then, yeah, of course, like, after 4th of July, that's when I had my follow-up with my allergy doctor, and then finally getting my shots back on track. So, yep, there we are. Like, we have eventually come full circle. I don't know. I feel like this section is always interesting, so I think that I am just gonna permanently adopt this into my whippin' chats, but, the whole what I've been reading, watching, and listening to. So, what I have been reading is Oshinoko. As always, I had to start it over again because I picked up the series 1 through 4, and then I went for a really long time without being able to buy anything because money was just tight. So I wound up forgetting a lot of the plot, and then I am rereading everything, and I am currently on book number 3 of that. And then what I've been listening to has been K-pop. Like, the K-pop kick is still very much real. I will be slowing down on the K-pop for a little bit now because, like, straight up for a couple of months. Like, I don't want to burn myself out on the genre, so I may just, have to force myself to listen to other things. And when I say K-pop, I mean, like, primarily a lot of the girl groups. Like, I love Cat's Eye. I feel like they're a breath of fresh air. Same thing with S'mores. Of course, can't go wrong with Twice, or yeah, Blackpink just made a comeback. Their song Jump is a banger. Like, absolutely love that song. And then, of course, there's other good groups too, like aespa, Illit, Baby Monster. Their song Hot Sauce. I love that song too. It's like, it's one of those songs that I would call an earworm. Like, it just gets stuck in your head. Oh. Yeah, I'm like very big on the girl groups. Not so much the guy groups at all. Like, I'm sure I've probably listened to BTS here and there without, like, having recognized it. Same with, like, Stray Kids and stuff like that. But I'm more a fan of the girl groups. And of course, y'all probably could see this one coming from a mile away, but I don't know. I'll talk about the other things that I watched first before I talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, because K-pop Demon Hunters is probably going to launch me into a rant. In a good way, not the bad way. So things that I have been watching, Beaufry. I didn't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense. Like, it's about this girl who gets gifted a VR headset and by her friend, and her friend cannot game at the moment. She's grounded from gaming because she has to bring up her grades, and then when like exams are over and all that, she can play games again. So the main character of the story, Maple, she winds up going into this MMORPG style game, and like game basically looks like an augmented reality of Renaissance Fair, but like but it's like very eerily reminiscent of Final Fantasy 14. Like if you're starting out in the forest area, Gridania, and then you have to fight like these little squirrels and these little like ladybugs and things like that. Like that's what she has to fight as like level 1 monsters. And then after that, she progressively gets attacked by like bigger and more dangerous things, and her defense is so high that when like things smack into her, whatever the monster is, it just like winds up hurting itself. It is so funny. Like such an interesting take on a anime series. And then another interesting one that me and Alex have been watching was the one that is like they got reincarnated into a vending machine. Hang on, I'm like looking this up on my other phone. Reborn as a vending machine, now I wander the dungeon. How this one starts is like pretty funny, right? Because guy is on a moped and he's going up like a really steep hill or mountain, and like you've got the landmass on his left, and then like there's a cliff on his right, and of course the cliff has a guardrail next to the road, so you know, to prevent anybody falling off and falling to their death. Well, he is following a flatbed truck who is hauling vending machines, and the ratchet strap breaks on one of the vending machines, and guy is like, no, that vending machine is gonna get hurt, and he winds up leaping off of his moped or like his scooter, whatever, and he jumps and in midair manages to get his arms around the vending machine, trying to protect it from getting hurt, like has no regard to his own personal safety and life. Winds up dying on impact and gets reincarnated in a fictional world as a vending machine. So then he like goes through his systems menu and discovers like, oh, I can create a barrier. I can do like, I can spend my points to do these things. And he's like, oh, but I have to sell things, otherwise I'm gonna run out of points, I'm gonna die. Oh crap. I'm like out in the middle of nowhere. Who's gonna come along and find me? And then like right on cue, Llamas, who is this really pretty adventurer girl, she she finds him, and then like the only thing that the vending machine can say are like the canned vending machine phrases like, please insert coins. um and then she winds up buying something from him, and then the two wind up establishing a system of communication for like yes and no and like things like that. And it's been a really, really interesting series. It's one of those where you're looking at it and then it's just like, oh yeah, I'm probably not going to like this, and then you find out you really like that. Like, it's, I don't know, it's one of those ones that's just so out there, but yet it works. And of course, last but not least, K-pop Demon Hunters. Are you sick of hearing people talk about it? I mean, I kind of sort of am to a certain extent. I had like seen the advertisements for it for just like a few days, and then I was just like, I don't know, because it kind of the art style reminds me of KDA. Like, this could either be really good or really cheesy. Like, I don't really see there being any sort of in between. And then, like, just on the weekend, on that long 4th of July weekend, Alex and I weren't really doing anything, and then we're just like, oh, well, we don't have anything going on. We can't decide on what we want to watch. Like, let's just watch this. So that is how we wound up watching K-pop Demon Hunters, and oh my gosh, y'all, like, how deeply they dive into Asian culture. I feel like it had, it felt very cathartic for me. Like, I cried. I cried at the end, like, ugly cried. And then I had to take about 3 business days to process the actual movie. It basically broke my brain.
Alright, so long and the short of it is, K-pop Demon Hunters is one of those things where once I start talking about it, I start talking about how it brings back a lot of things from my childhood. For those of you who don't know, I'm half Filipino, half American. Dad's from the States, mom's from the Philippines, and I was born here. So, yeah, like, a lot of stuff really close to home as in Asian culture. And I know that none of y'all signed up to, like, have like a trauma dump session, so I'm just gonna cut it. If you want to, I don't know, maybe get to know me a little bit more in that regard, maybe we could have a separate whip and chat later about this. Like, let me know in the comments below. But I thought, like, some of y'all are probably just using me as a distraction or background noise, and you probably didn't sign up for that, so I just went ahead and decided to leave that part out. So, yeah. Anyways.
But just like the level of inner child healing that I got from K-pop Demon Hunters, especially, like being mixed race, where half of me is Asian. It's like, it's one of those movies where it was like Moana did the same thing, where I felt seen. Like, I felt seen, and I felt appreciated, and I felt like it was like this massive hug, and I am starting to cry again. So, like, I am gonna cut it here. This was like a really, really long whip and chat, but but yeah, like, got the section done. Got a little bit more than the section done. All right, we'll see you all later. Bye.